Hello friends, welcome to my channel Drama Revamp. Hope you all are doing great. The link for first episode is given in description. The second episode of doomatyourservice starts with the decision of Tak Dong-gyung, where she chooses Doom over her death and takes his hand in desperation. By choosing Doom, she has also made a contract with Doom that before her death, she will wish to bring Doom to this world. He leads her on the way and takes her to a cafe where Dong-gyung asks Mr. Doom as how he was able to do all that, as she is not able to believe that whatever she is seeing is logically possible. To clear her doubts, Mr. Doom turns off the electricity of the whole city and also switches off mobile phones of all the people in the city. Seeing all this, Tak-gyung thinks that Mr. Doom has control only on electronic things, on which Mr. Doom starts comet shower over the city out of nowhere. Now, Dong-gyung asks him to stop the comet shower as she now understood that the man she is dealing with is really something extraordinary. Mr. Doom brings all the things back to normal and he sees that the criminal that we saw in the first episode is trying to commit suicide again. He thinks of going to stop him. Then suddenly, Dong-gyung holds his hand because as soon as she will leave his hand, she will again start feeling the same pain in her head that she felt before. To solve this, Mr. Doom ties a red thread on her hand and tells her that as long as she has this thread on her hand, she will be fine. The only catch is the thread needs to be recharged before midnight. And for recharging, Mr. Doom has to hold her hand every night, so that Dong-gyung doesn't run away with the thread. He asks her again to think of a wish that she truly wants and leaves. In the next scene, we see the criminal trying to commit suicide in his prison by hanging himself. Mr. Doom reaches there on time and stops him, but the criminal starts begging him to let him die as he hears the voices of all the people he has murdered, and he is not able to sleep at all. Mr. Doom smiles hearing all this and tells him that you have to live like this as only you have brought this upon yourself. The criminal asks Mr. Doom for his identity and Mr. Doom tells him that he is the end of everyone and everything. As an editor, Dong-gyung visits her best friend Jina's house and sees her lying on the floor. Gina tells her that she was writing a story and suddenly there was a power outage and she was not able to save her work. Now it's all gone and she was supposed to submit her work in an hour, which she will not be able to do now. Dong-gyung convinces her to redo everything in 1 hour, upon which Gina asks her about what the other editors in Dong-gyung's office think about her story. Not to demoralize Gina anymore, Dong-gyung lies and tells that everybody praised her, whereas the reality was far from it. Dong-gyung goes to buy some food for Gina while she was writing her story again. And in the store, she gets a call again from her doctor who threatens her that if she doesn't go for a surgery, she will soon start feeling an unbearable pain in her head. But Dong-gyung remains unfazed, as she has already made a deal with Mr. Doom and she will feel no pain for her remaining 99 days in this world. Scene shifts to hospital where we see a lady who gives God a poster stating that Doom will come soon as God is angry at humans. Hearing all this, Mr. Doom laughs and asks God that if she is angry, and God jokingly tells him that today she is in a very good mood. Mr. Doom tells her happily that he has found a human whose wish was to bring Doom to this world and he will make sure to fulfill it. And now if the world ends, there will be no need of a gardener or a butterfly. And from this scene, we got to know that Doom didn't want to spend any more time in this world as he was not happy doing what he has to do. God doesn't seem so happy hearing all this and tells him to do what he wishes to do and she will do the same. She reaches out for a plant plot. Frustrated, Mr. Doom asks God as why he has been chosen to do all the bad things to the world, to which God replies that it is fate and fate is cruel to everyone. We see Dong-gyung again, who was now going back to Gina's place when she gets a picture from her ex-boyfriend, in which he was seen inside her office making a scene. She runs to her office and meanwhile her ex keeps raising hateful slogans against her. When she reaches there, she asks her ex to leave immediately, but he tries to humiliate her in front of everyone. For once, she thinks of making a wish to Mr. Doom to remove her ex completely from her life, but then she thinks that she will not waste her wish on someone like him. Irritated by all this, her colleague Juki throws her ex out of the office. And when he tries to re-enter, thankfully, his wife arrives and drags him out by the ears. Feeling humiliated by all this, Dong-kyung hands over her resignation to Juki, as her manager was on vacation at the moment, but Juki doesn't take her resignation. When on road again, Dong-kyung fears of crossing the road, and Mr. Doom comes there and holds her hand and helps her cross the road. While talking, she asks Mr. Doom that if she dies without pain and do not ask Mr. Doom to end this world, what will happen? What if she breaks the contract? Mr. Doom rudely tells her that if she plans to do all that, then at the time of her death, another person will die, whom Dong-kyung must be loving the most at that moment. Dong-kyung gets angry after hearing all this and tells him that if she knew this before choosing Doom, she would never have made the decision. Mr. Doom gets sarcastic and brings her again to the same situation where she was supposed to choose between him and death. Scared again, Dong-kyung chooses Mr. Doom, and when he brings her back to the present, she slaps him in anger and asks him the same thing that Mr. Doom had asked God. Why me? Why are you doing this to me only? And Mr. Doom answers that it is fate, and fate is cruel to everyone. Mr. Doom gets lost in his thoughts and thinks that he has put Dong-kyung in the same position where he was put by God. Dong-kyung looks at the passing days on calendar when her brother Tak Sun-gyung knocks on her door. Remembering the harsh words of Mr. Doom, she hugs her brother, thinking that if she breaks the contract, it is mostly possible that her brother will die, as right now she loves him the most in this world. The next morning, Mr. Doom doesn't appear in front of her at all. She goes on a lunch date with her best friend Gina and tells her about her ex's wife, and also that people didn't like Gina's writing that much and she should improve it, because Dong-kyung wants her to see successful before her death. But she doesn't tell Gina about her disease. In the next scene, Dong-kyung is seen in her office where her colleagues ask her that why she dated her ex to begin with. She tells them that at one time she was working in a cafe, but suddenly some hot coffee was going to be spilled over her, and her ex took it all upon himself. That's how she fell for him. In the office only, she gets sad seeing her journal, as now she has not much time to live. Further, we see Mr. Doom in the hospital again where God's health was in a bad shape. God tells Mr. Doom that this time she thinks that she will not even live up to 20 years in this body. Mr. Doom laughs and says that what kind of God always remains ill? And God answers that for the world to exist, someone has to pay the price. God asks him that will he be able to convince Dong-kyung to make the wish of bringing doom to the world? And he smiles in confidence. God tells him that she will do everything possible to stop Mr. Doom and tells him to go to Dong-kyung as it is close to midnight. Dong-kyung was in a photo studio when Mr. Doom comes and she gets irritated. Mr. Doom tells her to first smile for her picture and then they will fight later on. She asks the photographer to put her picture in the biggest frame present there, as she was thinking of keeping that picture for her funeral, and Mr. Doom gets a little sad. While they start walking towards her home, Mr. Doom asks Dong-kyung to hold her hand for the recharge. They now start walking hand in hand when she sees an ambulance and asks Mr. Doom that if it is also his doing, and he says that mostly it is his doing but not every time. She then asks that what if he stops bringing doom altogether, and he replies that if he does that then all hell will break loose. Hearing all this, Dong-kyung begins to understand that there is no light without darkness. She asks him that how long will they have to hold his hands, and he jokingly says that recharge is already done. He thought that she was liking it. She gets irritated and leaves his hand. When they reach near her home, Mr. Doom starts going back but suddenly hears a male voice and stops. He sees Dong-kyung's ex who came there to beg her to reunite with him again. Mr. Doom seemed to enjoy it all until, in their fight, Dong-kyung's frame shatters on the ground. He quickly comes and pulls her ex by his collar and starts addressing Dong-kyung as honey. Dong-kyung also gets shocked, but Mr. Doom remains in his character and asks her to have the cucumber soup that he has made at home, and he will take care of her ex. In between all this, Dong-kyung's brother arrives and starts following her ex with a broomstick. Dong-kyung frustratingly looks at her shattered photo frame and starts smiling sarcastically. She begins to pick the glass pieces and hurts herself. Seeing all this, Mr. Doom feels sorry for her and holds her hand to cure her wound. and then stops her from picking the glass and starts doing it himself. Dong-young gets surprised seeing all this. In the final scene of the episode, when Mr. Doom starts going back, Dong-young calls him and asks him to live together with her. Mr. Doom gets shocked and surprised hearing all this. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you have enjoyed it till now. Also, let me know in the comments what you liked the most in this episode.